Hello peeps! This is a very impromptu video because I haven't done anything for so long, and I had an interesting conversation with someone about just getting up and doing something, and it doesn't have to be perfect or it doesn't have to be even good. I also had an interesting conversation with someone about painting or drawing lights and shadows in a circle, and yet another interesting conversation about pen paling and forgetfulness. So I designed a fish that is like both a circle and has some features of Dory, and let's see what comes out of it. And I mean, Dory is a sympathetical character, even though she doesn't remember much, and she wants to be helpful. I haven't seen Nemo in a long time, so I can't remember how much she actually helped, but I'm optimistic about myself as a niche product in society, and when I'm doing a project, it may take a long time. I just recently found a lecture that I delivered to some autism experts from 13 years ago, and I wouldn't say I have changed that much. And I actually enjoyed discovering this lecture again and reading this lecture again. And now I'm reminiscing old times about my art teacher in high school. An elderly gentleman who was very strict and who was still very fair and taught me how to shade circles and how to watercolor. Okay, first mistake that I'm making, this is not watercolor paper, this is regular printer paper, and I'm distributing the color here very randomly. I actually hope that my art teacher is not looking, so you actually don't want this pattern. So memorize what you don't want here, yeah? But why I am needing the circle, to point out a shadow, because even if you're just drawing a circle, you make it more three-dimensional by just thickening the lines on one side, depending on where you imagine the light would come. So this Dory is probably in an aquarium because the light comes from downstairs. Okay, lamp. Or a coral emitting light, you never know. Or an electric eel. We'll always be together with electric eels. I like this band Eels, by the way. So, as my art teacher always said, you create an illusion that this is round. On this paper, the illusion doesn't work that perfectly. Can't repeat myself often enough. If you want to make watercolors or even sell watercolors, you might want to invest in a quality paper. And there are also varied qualities of watercolor paints. For just trying something out and having fun, any paper and watercolor from a cheap store will do. But I'm the more watercolor videos I watch from the professionals, the more complaints I, for instance, hear about papers that shed these little flakes while you're painting. Okay, and of course I picked Dory because I wanted to comment on my own forgetfulness and other people's forgetfulness, because sometimes it seems like these pen pals don't want anything to do with me or other people anymore. But in fact, like the letter or the friendship book or whatever really only has fallen behind the desk or otherwise fallen off the surface of the planet. Or people are in a difficult life situations, or people really have ADHD and other conditions that may cause memory gaps. Maybe that's the reason why I collect notebooks, because I want to train my memory and I want to make more pictures to help my memory. I actually really did a sketch note on Mass in church, like really the most important points. I can't grab the sketch note right now because it's in the other bag, but I am sure you just get the point. Plus, I don't want to promote any religion here on the channel. I just want to point out that like there are so many tricks to improve my memory, but still like people have to work hand in hand with the way I am. The letter I'm writing today to an old pen pal who also contacted me with the words, I'm just giving a sign of life because I haven't heard from you in ages. This letter made me think about like, how do I want to communicate with people? And how is it best to communicate with people? Also when I can't write for a while or something. And I think there is no one answer to it. That's like a long-term development. Similar to how I have to kind of develop this fish. I didn't really know that the species of dory is called a surgeonfish, but you always learn something new by means of Google. And I would like to know why it's called a surgeonfish. Please tell me in the comments if you know. And do that in a written form, because otherwise I might not remember it. And yeah, at university they told me to learn to tolerate the silence. So I hope you can tolerate silence too. Okay, next mistake. The dark stuff should go up here because the core shadow is up here. And if you have too much dark stuff down here, you can always dilute. And like I know, I've told some children throughout my life, this is not a squish brush, this is a paint brush. But sometimes you have to squish it, and like even the very light hue does the trick. So just take a wee bit of color. This is almost too much, and then like lose control and have fun with it. I learned from another watercolor painter, the beautiful thing about watercolors is they do what they want. So actually they might be the medium for you if you're willing to let it go. I started my like painting career that you actually could consider painting, not drawing, especially not drawing on the walls. I started that with acrylics, and that's very much, I think that's a very stiff medium, but you also can go wild with it. The problem is the acrylics don't come off clothing. So when I worked with teaching painting to children, the first thing is I hid those acrylic paints away and gave the children some not squishy paint brushes for water-soluble paints. And I find that very hygienic. So if you have like younger children, these tank brushes are actually a very good investment in a reasonably clean and still jolly house. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow again with some thoughts about my day, my letters, or like even ideas that you give me. Bye bye.